Hello everyone, welcome back to Lord Nemo Gaming. Today we're playing Age of Mythology. I'll be just doing the Greek campaign for this one. I've already completed all the campaigns, but I'll be doing them in parts because they're so bloody long. This one is 3.5 hours just on Greek. I only did it on moderate. I've completed it all on Titan, but it takes a while. So this section I'll be doing Greek. The first, I think, 10 levels, and I was doing a guide through because my audio on the game didn't want to work, so I'm doing a voiceover for you. So I won't be talking through the whole thing. I'll have music running through, but I'll go quiet. You can read the prologue. Now the first thing you want to do here is get that archer out of the way. Get them out of the way, get them back, then you send our Cantos in and he'll destroy it easily. Because being the first level you don't have many resources. Now a good way to stop the boats is to put a couple of towers up. That way when the pirates come through that way they'll get knocked off. Now, Cantos, he'll beat the Kraken quite easily, so there's no need to worry about his health. Now, being on moderate, this one wasn't too bad, because the pirates are going to come and steal Poseidon's sex toy, and you're going to get mad. So, don't worry about going to the next stage, or I don't think I even upgraded my infantry, because being standard, that was enough. Now you're going to want to upgrade the towers to what I'm doing just there, so then they'll be able to knock down the boats straight away, because it comes in quite handy when there's a few of them at a time and they're dropping off units. It kills them, you don't have to worry about attacking them or anything. So that's the best way, just to focus on getting these couple of towers up. That will save that side. I have a couple of boats they're going to land later on, but the more units you can save until the last one, the better. Now the first, they're going to mostly land with axemen, which you put a Cantos up front. He'll take all the damage and the archers will just pick them off. So they're quite easy to start with. Just do the same thing with Kraken, get any units away from its reaches and just get your archers and your towers just to knock it down. Funny thing about the Kraken is if it was to scale, it'd probably take up the entire map because of the size of it. It was mistaken for a chain of islands, so it's only fitting that they had to make it smaller so it fit in the game. Again, they're going to land with Axemen, which they're going to get knocked off pretty easily, and they only got 5% absorbency on the arrows. And yeah, I'll come back at the end of the mission. Now this is where it gets a bit fun. You can't take down all the boats before they drop off their units, but try and knock out as many as you can just to minimise, because they're going to drop with better new boats, a bit more units. But you can't really fail this mission, to be honest. Even on Titan, you just got to basically wait until the army comes in. The army's just going to wipe them all out. Don't worry about if any of your docks get destroyed. Don't even worry about getting boats or anything. It's kind of pointless. The Kraken will just kill them straight away. But mostly just hold off until the mission ends. Then they make off with the Trident. Poseidon gets mad and you go after him and you start mission 2. So they're gonna run away as soon as you get too many units. You win, and you go on to the next mission, which again is pretty basic. The first thing you do, you stop these boats because they're just going to sail into some pirates, possibly get destroyed. They might come in useful later on. Set up your lure, get all the wild animals that come through, and I usually used to set up a wall just down the back here, so then there's only one point of entry. Makes it a lot easier to defend. But being on moderate, they don't really come through that often. But again, they just attack with, I think, Axemen, which again, I can't us up the front. Archers behind you, they knock them over pretty easily. You set up some houses, get some villages out there. You start off with plenty of food, so you just train 15 or so villagers, get your resources pumping. You got plenty of supplies around. The lure's going to help get all the wild animals close, so you don't really need to go out hunting until you can get to the classical, and then you can start on your farms, which in this map helps because there's little scouts everywhere on the island, mostly axemen just waiting around, which are easily dealt with, but they just get a pain in the ass. Yeah, as I mentioned before, walk down a bit, see where you think it's perfect to build a wall. Build a wall there, so then if any attackers come in from there, they're going to get stopped. If they decide to attack the wall, you got time to bring your units down, stop them. But on moderate, they didn't even come that way, so it was kind of a little bit of a waste. But at the same time, you don't do it, they're going to come there. So there's a little added protection. I don't know if you play this game, you're the same as me, but I like to keep my houses all in one little spot and have like shapes like I'm doing there. Now when you advance to the next stage, you want to do the Cyclops, because this level the centaurs are pathetic. because you can only invade Kamos. He's going to have buildings, and Cyclopses are your best bet at knocking down those buildings quickly, because you can't go any further than the classical, so you cannot get any siege weapons. So the only access to a siege weapon you have is a Cyclops. So it's always best to research that one rather than the pathetic, useless Centaur, because this level you're gonna come up against watchtowers in a town centre. You want 4 or 5 Cyclopses. They're gonna knock it down quicker. I didn't build a dock, but it's up to you if you want to build a dock. But watch out, they might put the sea serpents there, and yeah, they're a bit easy, but they're a bit annoying. But on moderate, they didn't attack me through the water. So there is, as you can see on the map, 3 spots of fishing which give you more food supply, but with the lure, you got a bit there. And it's completely up to you. I didn't do it. I usually do, but this one I didn't. Now they're going to attack you with axemen to start with, so I found, I just trained a bunch of hoplites, but also trained up a bunch of archers, because with the 5% absorbency of the axemen, the archers are just gonna mow through them. I like to keep my villager count on each resource the same, so I'll eventually get them all up to 7 each or more. I think have a few people on your temple, because the Cyclops, they cost 15 favour each, so you're gonna need that to build up pretty quick if you want to knock this one over fast. found this a bit later on. Up the side where my boats are going, there is a shipwreck which will give you supplies. I think there's one, or there might be another one like further on. I didn't go exploring that far, but I'm pretty sure there might be another shipwreck a bit further on. They give you not much supplies, but anything helps on this level, because you can only go to the classical, so you can't research all the good upgrades for your storehouses or anything like that. So here it is, just here. You get 600 and 400. I mean, it's better than nothing. I think there might be another one further on, but I didn't go exploring. See, right, the attack with axemen, they get, on moderate, they get killed extremely easy because they don't have any upgrades on them. So there's the Cyclops. Upgrade them to an Elder, gives them more attack and hit points. They're going to come very, very helpful in this mission. I mean, it's up to you if you want to assault. You can. They do have a dock around the side, so it's completely up to you if you want to go in there. But you can only build triremes, and they do have a watchtower, so it does take a little while for your boats to knock down that watchtower, seeing as you can't get siege units. But it doesn't actually help if you go through by land, because you got to deal with all their boats, and that's, to me, is just a waste of resource. So I went by. I walked through. I mean, it wasn't completely that far at all. You got to knock down one watchtower. Cyclops has beat that pretty easily. So it only took me 11 minutes, and I already have enough units. It's not a big battle. And I brought the scout there. I never liked the scout. I always tend to delete them because I don't really like them at all. And they do 2 damage. It's pretty pathetic. It is a narrow way through. There is one watchtower that's going to come up very soon, which the Cyclops has just knocked it over. See, there it is. They do have a Nubite and Spearman, and there's a catapult in there. The Nubite, pain in the neck. It just jumps people. And you use your Cyclops has knocked the tower down. They're doing 50 damage per hit. Try and knock out all their units before you go in. See, there's that watchtower near the dock, which causes a problem if you go by sea. And you can use the pestilence god power to stop them training, but they don't really train many units to start with. Just be wary that they're going to invoke the Serpent's God power pretty soon. They do it on every difficulty, I'm pretty sure. So, and it's only 6-7 serpents which die pretty quickly. Yeah, just try and keep your Cyclopses alive. Use them to attack the towns, and use your Cantos and Archers to knock down all the other units. And once they're down, they don't train anymore. That's all they got. Kamos is hiding like a bitch in his town centre. So, knock that down. Your Cyclopses come in very, very useful in this mission. So as soon as that knockdown, Kamos runs away like a coward. You chase him. You can kill him before the cutscene comes into play. And again, you just use your archers, Acanthos, knock down all these units pretty quickly. Don't worry about the houses or anything. Go attack him. He's going to jump away. You do a certain amount of damage and it comes up as a victory, so yeah. Start mission 3. This is where you get introduced to Ajax, which in my opinion is probably one of the better heroes you get. As his special attack, he can smash units away with his shield, but I never do like this mission. It's quite annoying. Because where your town centre is, you can get attacked from absolutely every single angle. And these guys didn't take much to take down. Knock them out. Go down, build your town centre. This village is waiting. Build your town centre now. There's about 4 or 5 archers down here waiting. And for whatever reason, I only sent Ajax thinking he's going to beat them all. But I'm pretty sure he actually ends up dying. So I had to send the other hero down. Don't know why I did that. But build your town centre. Start gathering resources. I found it useful to wall off 3 different sections, so then they can only attack where your sentry tower is. This makes it a lot easier. Now the objective is pretty basic. Just destroy 2 docks. I don't know why I didn't send boats in, but I did take a lot longer than I should have on this one, because you destroy 1 dock, and Agamemnon and his army lands, and you use him to destroy the 2nd dock, but you can easily just train up a bunch of boats, go destroy the 2 docks at one time, and you win. So there is a flaw in this level. You only need to destroy the 2 docks, not the towns in the docks. So if you want to do it the proper way, like I do, build up your army, go destroy the first one, then send that massive army over to the second one, or you can just honestly complete this in probably less than 10 minutes to build up a bunch of boats, go destroy the 2 docks, and you win. So it's completely up to you what you want to do, but I went through the units way. There's a town centre there that you can build on. As I said with the walls, I walled off these 2 sections so they can really only attack me through the front, which is quite helpful because they're going to send Nemo lions, monitors, and a few more units than they do on the other ones, because gradually the campaign gets harder and harder. Level 3 is still fairly easy. This level's just plain annoying. So it's completely up to you how you want to handle it. Go by boats, go by sea. Go by boats, go by land. I went by land. And you got this boat here. I found it easy. You sort of send a hero to attack it, then you follow up with archers. It will knock the boat over. As I'm about to do, you send your 2 heroes in, then when they're getting attacked by the boat, you send your archers in. They'll destroy the boat within 30 seconds, so it's pretty easy. And when you upgraded the classical, it doesn't matter if you get the Cyclops or the Centaur this time, because I'm pretty sure you can get to the heroic age, which does grant you the catapults. So it doesn't matter which one you choose in this one, but in the previous one, do go the Cyclops, because it will make your life a lot easier. This one, it doesn't matter, because you can get catapults, which are better than the Cyclopses at destroying buildings. But Cyclopses are just honestly fun to use. Another problem that you're going to face with this level is where the wood's placed. As you can see, the sort of where they've left it is a tunnel where the units come through, so it's very annoying. If you do cut that wood down, it just leaves another opening for the enemy to come through. But at the same time, if you go outside the walls, they do attack from both sides, so there is a chance that they're going to come down and attack you. So just be careful about gathering wood on this level, as it can get quite annoying. The gold, you get a 6,000 gold straight up, so that's going to do you the whole level. But yeah, just be careful on how you gather your wood. As you do gather it, you can leave holes for them to come through if you do wall up. So yeah, just be careful when you gather your wood in this level. Now what I did was I went through the heroic age, which gives you access to the siege boats. Although they're only 18 range and a tower is 20, a couple of them together is powerful enough to knock down the towers as you're about to siege the town. I went to the right one first, because it is the easier one. The other one has a couple of colossi waiting there for you, so as soon as you defeat it, Agamemnon's going to land. He's going to give you about 20 or so units, mostly horses, a couple of catapults, and himself. I don't know why the creators gave Agamemnon no weapon. As you see, when he comes through, he attacks with his fists. He's a very good fister. So I don't know why they did not give him a single weapon. It's kind of weird. obviously, as you see, they attack from all angles. They send in myth units this time in a mixture of units. So if you've got a wall up, do have some towers to distract them while they come around. See, as I've got the two sides walled off, there's only one point of entry, which is if you wall that one off, they're going to attack the wall at each side. So leave a section open for them to run down, and then you just take them out that way. Now, the Nemo Lion is a kind of annoying myth unit because it does its special attack at roars, which damages everything in the vicinity and also knocks over trees. But it does get taken down fairly easily. Now, they do seem to encounter archers, but they're piss weak against normal units. Against archers, they're strong, but against normal units, they're piss weak. So they're easily taken care of. Now, there are some boats on your way to the docks, so just keep a slight mixture of each together. And the ramming boats, they're very good against the siege, so have a couple of them along with your siege, and you knock the boats down quickly. Now if you do go up the boatway and destroy the dock, just as soon as you do destroy the dock, Agamemnon will land. So I find it best, if you're going to do that route, try and knock down the town centre, so when he does land, you lose minimal units, because you're going to need those units to assault the other base, because the other base on the left hand side is stronger than the one on the right, which is why you always attack the one on the right first. So just be mindful that the left side is stronger than the right side. As you can see, I researched the Hydra. I find the Hydra actually to be one of the best myth units you can get, because it can grow up to an extra 5 heads, and I think it does about 20 damage per head, so 5 heads it actually can do quite a considerable amount of damage. Plus you also get a research which increases the health on everything by about 40 points, which 40 points doesn't sound much, but it actually is quite a bit. So as you can see, I'm in the heroic, which enables me to research catapults, and once I built the fortress, which is going to make this a lot easier, because the catapults, I use them, well, obviously to knock down the gate and any towers that are in my way. The fortress takes a little while to build, but it's going to come in very, very handy. There's another way to easily get through into the town, is you knock down the wall and then you invoke ceasefire. Then you get absolutely every single unit straight away, so they're sitting right at the town centre. So you can basically just knock the town centre over in about 10 seconds. Well, I didn't do that. I didn't think of that at the time, but that is a way on any level. If you need to knock down a building quick and you do have ceasefire, make a passage to where you need to go, invoke ceasefire. It lasts about 45 seconds and you get every single unit up to where you need to. Then you can easily finish the mission. Now, if you are going to assault, I recommend you keep some units behind, because they're going to keep attacking you. You keep some units behind, you got your towers there, you can knock majority out with your towers and your fortress, but you have a 3, 4, 5 hoplites. They're on standby to absorb the attacks while your towers do the damage. So when you do plan to go siege, have a couple units left behind just in case, because there is a high chance that they're going to attack. this first base, there's not many defenders, as you can see. There was what 5 units there, a tower, and then the town centre. Just if you dock well like I do, like that, just quickly knock it over. Because as soon as you knock the dock over, Agamemnon lands, you get his army, then you can literally go straight to the next one. And again, have a couple of catapults there, knock the towers down, the town centre down, the dock down, and you're ready for the next base. This is the only level where you do actually use Agamemnon, considering you're currently doing Troy. You think you'd use him a bit more. See that he drops off a whole bunch of horses. He drops off 16, 19 units. All horses, so upgrade the horses because they're going to come in handy. So that was all that was in that town. That's the easy side. I brought every unit back, and the siege on the next one is a bit harder because they do have colossi, but with your heroes they go down pretty easy. Now, if you saw where they came from, there is a passage to the Gate of Troy, which is 5 or 6 watchtowers. So, if you do come across that, don't waste your time by going up there. You're not going to achieve anything. You're just going to lose units. As you can see, one of my Hydras 3 heads already. So there is a passage up to the where my units are now. There is a passage up through a few watchtowers, which it's pointless going up there. It's a waste of time. You're just going to lose units for no point. So as you can see, there's units there. There's no point going up there, so I don't even bother. The best way, use your catapults, knock the guys down. As you can see, there's 2 colossi there. This side's a bit harder. There is more units, more towers. use your catapults to knock the gate down. Go attack the colossi. Well, there's 3. Now, there's a fun fact about the colossi. If you do have one and it is almost dead, you can instruct it to eat wood and gold, and it will restore its health. So if you tell it to eat a tree, it will regenerate 150 health. Same with a gold mine. If it's a 3,000 gold mine, it will regenerate basically all its health. So that's a little fun fact. If you do have a colossus, it can regenerate its health. You just need to instruct it to eat wood or gold. But I just sent my army through there, destroyed everything in its path, used the catapults to knock down the town centre because it's just a pain in the neck. It's not going to destroy too many units, it's just a pain. Then you just use your remaining units, destroy the dock. You don't have to destroy everything in there, you just need to destroy the dock. As soon as you destroy the dock, mission's completed. And you move on to number 4. Number 4 is where you attack the gate of Troy. Now this mission you do lose Ajax, but you're getting back in the next section. You do get Odysseus, which is helpful because it's your first archer hero. But to get gold, you're going to have to send your army out, and there is a small gold mine not too far out, which the Greeks, the Trojans, are mining, so to quickly knock that, it's going to be protected by about 5 archers. But given you got Hippicans, the counter archers, you can knock them over pretty quickly. So yeah, use your Heliopoli, destroy the storehouse, knock out the archers, knock out the villagers. Be careful, just over that ridge there is a town centre. To use your Heliopoli, because it does have 95% absorbency on arrows. See, there's the town centre. Just use your Heliopoli, destroy the town centre, destroy the remaining villagers because they're just going to keep coming back and mining gold. And as soon as you wipe them out, you can go out there and gather the gold yourself. Now this is the second time I did this level, because the first time my recording of it broke. So the first time there is a town to the right of the map, the pink of colour. You can destroy that and get a large trade route for your donkeys. But this one I just need to destroy the gate. The gate's fairly easy to get to it. I don't think it took me too long to do this mission, but the best point is to destroy that town centre. There is a couple of sentries and storehouses in there. Send your army in there, destroy it all. That opens up another town centre for you, and you can construct a reasonable trade route. Yeah, just be careful when the donkeys run away. If you do follow them, there are units. There is a path leading up to their base, which is got units covering, so just be careful. If you do mistakenly follow them, you're going to run into some resistance, and being as though you're still in the classical, you may not survive and your army gets wiped out, because the Trojans do come down and attack. So it's best early on, keep as many units as you can to build up your supplies, and then depending on which way you want to go, because there is 2 routes into the Trojan base, one straight up through the row that's there, and there's another way around, which I go around. The other enemies in this mission can also be a pain. They do send boats down and take your fishing vessels, so construct a couple of sentries along the line and that will deal with them. And when you do have enough units, I'm going to go the side route, which does have a couple of storehouses where the Trojans are gathering gold. If you do destroy them, you do get gifted gold, so if you do need quick gold, you can go around and destroy these storehouses and you'll be given 200, 300 gold per destruction, but they are guarded by units, so just be careful. So here's another storage pot, again guarded by units. You destroy it, and you do get gifted gold. There's the trade route to the other enemy settlement that's across the river. There's walkthrough. I didn't destroy them. It is an annoying town. There's a town centre, a bunch of units, and the dock, of course, and they just keep rebuilding. So as you can see, another 200. There is no tower defending this gate, so you can just easily destroy the camels, the donkeys, and continue to go to the neighbouring town. So be careful. If you do sit there, they will attack them, and if you lose track of your units, they will follow them. And before going in there, Troy is going to invoke ceasefire, as he's about to do in a second. Which I don't know why they do it. So it's protected by a couple of Cyclopses. There is a fortress in there, a couple of catapults. So what I found is get your units where you want them, and then just as the ceasefire ends, invoke, if you do have the bronze power, invoke your bronze power. The battle doesn't last too long. Use your catapults, knock down the buildings. The fortress there can be annoying, and they will continue to send units through the main gate. But being on moderate, and I just wanted to get this one over and done with pretty quick. As you can see, I'm only at 15 minutes. Because if you do destroy the other town, it can take a considerably longer. The only problem is if they do ceasefire, it gives them time to upgrade. So invoke your bronze power, absorb the damage, use your siege units to knock down the watchtowers, the gate, and the army just rushes in. And I think on the high difficulties, they do use the lightning bolt, the lightning storm god power. So just be careful. If you do it on a higher difficulty, they will use that god power, and it can massacre all your units. So just be careful. But as you can see, being on moderate, there isn't much resistance. One of my hydras has 5 heads, so it's doing considerable damage. Destroy the units. The catapult up on the ridge can become annoying, but the gate itself doesn't have the best defense, and it doesn't have the best absorbency. So you don't have to fully take down its entire health. There is a point that it gets to where it goes, you are victorious. So as long as you got enough units there, bang, it's dead. And then we follow on to the mission 5, where you do get Ajax back. I don't know why Ajax needed rescuing. As you saw the cutscene, he has hoplites against horses, which hoplites are counter horses. So I believe if you just let him go, he'd be fine. But going with the story, you do go help him. He wins. You win very comfortably. Now I remember this mission being quite annoying, because you do have to destroy almost every building in the enemy stronghold, and they do attack frequently, which I'll show you in a second. The best points to put a wall, because there is a side passage just up there that does have gold, but they do tend to come down through there. So there is, as I'm about to do with this villager, where to build the walls, it's the best spot, so then you can still access the gold that's up here. So you just explore it a bit. It's 6,000 gold mines, which, being in the early levels, is very helpful. So you just explore a bit and bang, you just chuck a wall here, and then I'll show you in a second that you do put another wall down. Now they'll constantly send a Hippican as a scout, which is very annoying because they do have a bit of health, and they are quicker than your infantry, and if you don't already have the sentries with the upgrade to attack the cavalry, they just run through your entire camp. So here's the second section that you build a wall, because there is a passage around to the back of your base. So it's always best to put the 2 wall sections there, so that will prevent them from coming down there, and they can only attack you through the front, because where your your donkey's going, there is no way through there. That's just all trees. So if the first time you're doing this mission, build the 2 walls where I have, it will block them going down that way, and they can only attack you from the front. And the other good thing about this mission is you're already in the heroic age. So if you are strapped for gold, you do have a market, and you can send it down to the allied town centre, and you get maybe 50 gold per travel. So that's another good thing. You do already have some buildings built up for you. I think if you do play this level on a higher difficulty, they do tend to build stables very close to your base, just around the corner, and there is up on a ridge, they do build a fortress, which is, if you're unaware of it, it sort of is a trap for you. So just be careful on the higher difficulties. They do tend to build stables close to your base if you don't continue to attack it. See, as here, there is no way through, it's just all trees, which you do have if this mission is difficult for you to do, you do have a large supply of wood, so you should never run out of wood. Same with gold, you do have donkey caravans to go through. Food, you can get unlimited food through farms, and you got about 100,000 pigs already. There is a little bit of water there. I don't know if there is fishing vessels that you can put out there, if there's any fishing spots. I don't know why I searched with a Hippican. They do have very low line of sight. I should have just sent a hoplite through, but there is water there. I can't remember if there is fishing spots in there. I mean, it's completely up to you if you want to build a dock, but there is no way around for the water. It's just there for effect. Yeah, when I first look, it doesn't look like there's any fishing spots. There might be. I didn't go searching, but it's up to you if you want to search if there's any fishing spots. Yeah, do as many donkeys as you can. If you do have on the base game, you are limited to 5 donkeys. But being I'm on the extended, I can have as many as I want. But I remember on the original Age Mythology, you could only have 5 donkeys. But with the extended edition through Steam, they increase that to basically an infinite amount. So yeah, as Candace said, they might try to build stables close to the front, which they usually just build literally right next to you. right where I'm about to go, they usually build the stables there, but on the lower difficulties they tend not to, but on the higher ones they do, which if you don't constantly scout the area, it does become quite annoying. See, they constantly send Hippican scouts, so don't be alarmed if you see a little red dot running around in your base. It won't attack, that's just scouting. And to assault the main base, you are going to require a fair bit of units, because even on moderate I found it a little bit difficult. I hadn't played this in a while, so I forgot what was actually in there, but they do have a considerable defense. So make sure you do have a fair few units going in, because it can get tough. When you're ready to assault, make sure your units are upgraded to as far as they can. Have your heroes. I didn't send through any myth units, I don't know why. I did have Hydras there, which are one of my favourite myth units. Make sure your units are already got heavy, but your armory, have that upgraded. Have the units on standby, because they will continue to attack. As you come through, they are farming, so you're going to encounter some villages out there. Now, them being Poseidon, every building you destroy, depending on the side, will spawn militia, which for a granary I think they only spawn 2, so it's not not a large number, but a fortress they will spawn about 6. So they do get annoying. Just be careful about the watchtowers that are around. Watchtowers I think only spawn 1 militia, but still they do get annoying. So yeah, spawn 2 militia. They are low health, but in large numbers they do quite a bit of damage. You just got to be wary with Poseidon as well. Try not to destroy any useless buildings that you don't need to, because being Poseidon, it will spawn militia, and if you do have catapults out by themselves, they'll just kill your catapults straight away. Don't just be wary of little storehouses that are around. Yeah, if they do get in the way, they can be annoying, but they will spawn militia, which are very annoying. I should have attacked with a bit more catapults, because there is a fair bit to destroy in there. I didn't send through a big enough army to start with. I should have sent myth units with them, because myth units can take some damage from infantry. So yeah, they automatically will attack the storehouse. Yeah, normally it's no issue, but seeing as it spawns 2 militia, they're fairly weak, the militia, but they're just annoying. With their straw hats and their little spears, they're just a pain in the dick. Your best course of action, use your soldiers to engage all the units, and use your catapults to destroy as many buildings as you can. Depending on how big your army is, you may not be able to destroy everything, but try and destroy as much as you can. Be wary of your units running around like mindless chickens, attacking villages, attacking the scouts that go around. So I should, if I sent through more catapults, I would have knocked it over a lot quicker than I did. But I'm pretty sure I lost this battle, and I had to send everyone back out and start again, because I didn't send through enough units. As you can see, it doesn't look like much, but I didn't send through enough units to start with. I didn't send through any myth units. I don't know why. I only sent through 2 catapults, which they're not fully upgraded, so they're doing less damage than they should. I'm pretty sure I needed to send through a second army, because I wasn't fully prepared. So yeah, once you destroy all the major buildings, which is your stable, your watchtowers, your fortress, and the temple, you're victorious. But if you're going to do this one, probably send through maybe 4 or 5 catapults. It just makes it a lot easier. And being that it's now level 5, they will train units, unlike they do in the earlier levels. If they have a military base, they won't train additional units. But now that we're a bit further in, they will train additional units. If you don't destroy it as they're, I've probably destroyed 4 or 5 catapults already. They just keep spawning them. I don't think you need to destroy those houses. It's just the main buildings, which still left is an archery range and a barracks. So as soon as you destroy them, it took me a few armies, because I wasn't fully prepared the first time I went in. And if you don't destroy the barracks and the archery range quickly, they'll just keep deploying units. Yeah, it's one at a time. But if you've got a low army, gradually they'll just kill you. And they've got an infinite supply of resources, being as though it's the AI. They do have an infinite supply of resources, I find. And again, destroying buildings will spawn militia. Archery range and military spawn maybe 3 or 4. Fortress spawns about 6. As you can see, it took me 3 armies to go through. I wasn't properly prepared. See, there's already 5, 6, 7 units that have already respawned, because I haven't dealt with the military base. So if you go through it unprepared, they'll just keep spawning units, and gradually you'll die unless you send through a larger force. Yeah, pretty sure these are the last 2 buildings that I need to destroy, but if I came fully prepared the first time, I would have finished it maybe 5 minutes ago, but it is what it is. Just send in a couple more catapults, destroy the buildings, and you become victorious, and you start level 6, where I'm pretty sure is where you build the Trojan horse, which is a fairly easy level. I'll guide you through it. At this level, all you need to do is gather wood. Oh, I was wrong. You do get Agamemnon again. He can fist some more people. He's good at it. Now, the best course of action here is gather wood straight away. Don't worry about building stables, archery ranges, or anything. It's just a waste of time. Gather your wood as quick as possible so then you can build some towers, because they're only going to attack with horses. If you're quick enough, you build a couple of towers which will aid you, because as soon as a horse runs from battle and goes back to Troy, they will send a large force. So your main priority here is to stop that from happening. So basically just do what I do. Don't worry about building archery ranges or anything like that. It's just a waste of resource. Your main priority here is to gather wood as quick as possible. Don't worry about any myth units. Wood is your main priority in this level. Collect that relic because it will improve your cavalry speed, which you do have. Those cavalry there are the quicker ones and they are counter. So use every single ounce of food to get villages and put watchtowers in the vicinities that I do, because it will aid you. I was just wrong about using every ounce of food. You are going to need to get the upgrade which allows you to hit moving targets easier. So you're going to need to get 150 food as well. But use up your gold to build watchtowers. Don't gather any more gold. It's just a complete waste of time, because the quicker you build that Trojan horse, the better. Because the more they attack, the more chance that they're going to break your lines and go back to Troy and send a large force. So just do what I do. Build the watchtowers. Use every bit of gold you have to build the 3 watchtowers you can. Get the upgrade which allows you to hit moving targets, because they're only going to attack with 6-7 horses. And unless they do go back to Troy and alert which they're going to attack. So that's all they're going to attack you with to start with. So you're going to need to build the watchtowers here, because they will help you kill them quicker. So they're going to retreat. And if you do have the watchtowers, they can continuously hit them until they kill them. So as soon as you've built all the watchtowers you can, and you've got the upgrade, put absolutely every single person onto wood. As soon as you get to 1,000 wood, you can start building the Trojan horse, and the Trojan horse does build slowly. So just do what I do for now. Build the towers. They will attack you from behind, but the first 2 or 3 attacks they're going to attack from right there. So that's the best time to kill them without them returning home. So as soon as you've got the 150 food, stop gathering food, research that upgrade, because it will do additional damage to cavalry, which you're going to need, because they're going to mostly 95% attack with cavalry, unless a scout gets sent home. If one horse does escape, you do have a bolt god power, which you can use to take down that horse. Because on the lower difficulties they attack slower, but on the higher difficulties they attack fairly frequently. So I finished all this campaign on type, and I'll tell you, it is very, very difficult. And some levels can take you upwards of 3 hours per level, because they just get ridiculously hard. So keep your army in this section, keep your heroes in the front line, because they're going to take the brunt of the damage. You want those horses that you have to survive, because they can chase down any retreaters. So as soon as you get 1,000 wood, which I'm about to get to any second, if the idiot villagers gather wood from the correct spot. You should be getting 1,000 now. As soon as you get to 1,000, the Trojan horse will appear. Stuff your wood, stuff your gold, stuff your food. Build that Trojan horse straight away. So as you can see, I've got 12 villagers building it, and it is going quite slow. Which is why if you have one villager, it's going to go slower than a snail. So you want every available villager as soon as you can build it to build it. Because the quicker you get past this section, you get to the next part of level where you're in Troy, and it is quite fun. As I mentioned before, they may attack from behind. Very soon they are going to send units from behind, so just be wary of that. I completely forgot about it. And they will go directly towards your villages, which you just ring the town centre bell, and they'll all retreat to the nearest watchtower or fortress or town centre. Then just send your units and destroy the horses. I think a couple of them escape, which being the time I am now on the level, my Trojan horse is almost done. It doesn't really matter. Oh no, I got him. Yay. And send your villagers back out, complete the Trojan horse, and you move to the second part of the mission. There is a funny story about Odysseus. If you're familiar with Homer's Odyssey, after the Trojan War, Odysseus is setting sail to home, gets stranded on an island full of cyclopses, and they get basically enslaved by Polyphemus. And one by one, he's eating his soldiers. So he asks Odysseus, what's his name? Odysseus says, my name is no one. So Polyphemus, Cyclops aren't known for being smart. He thought that's his name, no one. And him and the remaining soldiers construct a large wooden spike, which they jam into Polyphemus' eye, then they escaped. So Odysseus gets on his boat and he escapes. Polyphemus is angry, so he yells out, because he's Poseidon's son, help me. And Poseidon says, who did this to you? And being Odysseus, who said what his name was, Polyphemus yells out, no one. So immediately Poseidon's like, you're an idiot. How can I attack someone that I don't know? Yeah, it's a smart way of Odysseus. He says his name to no one, so when Polyphemus got mad, yelled out to Poseidon. If Poseidon knew who it was, he would instantly kill him because he's god of the sea, basically. And it's just a little bit of history that I thought you'd like. Now, this just here, Cyclops and Colossus, very easy when you get 3 heroes, which will free 4 Heliopolis, which you will need to break down the wall, which is very easy. There is a wonder there you can attack it later. Because this level, you do get enough units to completely annihilate Troy. But at the moment you want to kill this guard. He's useless. Destroy this military barracks just in case they do want to train more units. Select 2 Heliopoli, destroy that tower, then the other 2 destroys that tower, and you don't send your heroes in until those towers are attacking your Heliopolis, because they will most likely kill your heroes before they get a chance to break the gate down. Now, this Heliopoli was special and he got stuck, so I had to help him out. Destroy the towers. They're going to hurt the wall a little bit. Doesn't matter. Destroy the towers before you destroy the gate, because Agamemnon's going to rush in. He gets pretty excited. He sends through a whole bunch of units, so destroy these towers first. And then focus on the gate. As soon as you take down the gate, Agamemnon's going to rush through with his army. Be careful on the higher difficulty. As soon as this cutscene play, look at Acanthus. What a dickhead! On the higher difficulties, as soon as that plays where Agamemnon's army runs through, select them as quick as possible and retreat, because Troy will invoke 1 or 2 lightning storms, which will completely massacre your army. Now you're gifted 2 meteor showers, which, if you do them like I do, they do knock down these fortresses pretty quick. And you do have 8 catapults, so this section here is relatively easy. Even on Titan, it's easy right after the meteor storm, because you do have a large army. You do have 1 million units, 8 catapults, which will knock down anything easy. A large army. I mean, as you can see, that's all inside Troy, so if you do want to have fun on this level, leave 1 fortress and completely destroy everything else if you do want to have some fun. But being a walkthrough, I just showed you the best possible course of action for these levels. But I did want to destroy that wonder to Hades. As you can see, there is a bit you can do, but you really cannot. On moderate, you can't lose. On the higher difficulties, you can, due to the lightning. So the Agamemnon, he's got a good 1-2, which it's kind of weird. Him being a major part of Troy, they didn't give him a single weapon. He just attacks people with his fists. It's kind of weird. As you can see, you can go around and destroy everything. I just wanted to destroy this wonder. It's fun to destroy wonders. That fortress is going to get knocked down pretty quick. And then, as soon as you knock down the 3 fortresses, you rescue Helen. I don't think there's even a model for Helen in the game. You'd never see Helen. So as soon as you knock down the fortresses, bang, you win. Then we'll move on to the next one. This is the first time you encounter Chiron, which is one of the good heroes you will get. He's up there with one of the best heroes you do get in your journeys. Yeah, this mission it's fairly easy. You don't need to worry about the town centre or anything. Go the left path. It is easier. You're going to encounter Wadgets, which with your heroes they get taken down in about 3 seconds. So it doesn't really matter. They're not going to do much damage. So 3 hits, dead. Even with 3 here, they're going to knock down. So they're doing nearly 100 damage per hit, and the Wadgets are doing like 6. They're not doing anything really. This mission is basically just about rescuing units all on your way to rescuing Chiron. So it's pretty straightforward. You do need to train units. You do get a limited supply of resources, so just be careful on how you spend it. You do get a few centaurs here, which in number centaurs are considerably pretty good. Yeah, around the back here, I'm sure there's a relic. And maybe, I think it's guarded, maybe. I could be wrong. You're going to encounter mostly spearmen. The Wadgets here and there, but again, they get taken down pretty quickly. They're not really a threat. When there's one of them, they're not really a threat. So you're going to move to the next bit. You can see the jail cells. Knock them over, you're going to get more units. And then from there, you do get given supplies, which then you can use to train units. So be careful what you train. Don't go nuts with it, because the further on you go in the mission, you do get a fortress where you can build catapults. And given you only have a limited supply of resources, if you run out before you get there, you're not going to get any more unless you put in cheats. So to start with, don't go nuts with your resources. Be careful on how you spend them, because you don't get any villages in this level, so whatever resources you're given is what you get. See right there, you get given the amount of resources in these buildings. Now I'm training the counter infantry, because so far I've only encountered spearmen. And the best way to counter the spearmen is counter infantry. If you don't bother training hoplites there, because they're not going to be that useful at the moment. You are given a siege unit, so I do recommend that you protect it for the time being. You do destroy that. You do get given more resources, so use that to defeat the watchtower, knock it down. So try to protect it the best you can until you get right to the end, where you are given access to a fortress. See right there, I was given that many resources. I didn't spend it all because I didn't really need to. So if you do it on the lower difficulties, you don't really need to spend any resources until you get to the end, which you do get 1,000 or 2,000 per each, which is the best spot to use it. Now this battle here can wipe out a bit of your units, but given you got centaurs, they can do majority of the work. You don't really need to upgrade them to watchtowers. I just did for some reason. But looking back, it was a waste of resource. So the next section that you get to is where you do get access to the fortress. I do advise upgrading your armory and getting counter units mostly. So far, what I've seen is they send you counter units. So the best way to counter units is with your own counter units. Be careful of Scorpion Men in an army. They are extremely powerful. So try and take them out as quick as possible. If you are good enough, you can get to the last stage without purchasing any units. On the high difficulties, I doubt you can, because the jump from hard to Titan is extremely considerable. And I'm pretty sure the last mission of this campaign on Titan took me at least 4 hours, because it was damn hard. So mostly you're going to encounter from now on is spearmen, slingers, and Scorpion Men. But again, with your heroes, they can easily take down the Scorpion Men. You don't need to use all your resources once again. I do recommend upgrading up the armory, because as you go to rescue Chiron, it is a large battle. So I do recommend upgrading at the armory when you think you're ready. Move on. Again, you just got to kill a watchtower and a temple, and you unlock this section. So again, Heliopolis, keep them alive. Use your centaurs, your peltasts, and everything else to knock out all the units. You are going to lose a few units in this section, so just use them to knock out them. Use your Heliopolis to destroy Watchtower and Temple, and you unlock the last section. This is where keeping resources is good, because then to free Chiron you need to destroy the stronghold, which you're going to need catapults for. So train up a few, keep your Heliopolis alive, because they're going to be pretty helpful. On the higher difficulties, they do spawn serpents right near the gate as you go through, and I think maybe ancestors, I'm not too sure. But there is a large army in there waiting, so I do recommend having a few catapults to knock down the stronghold, because once that stronghold is knocked down, the mission's finished. Now, when you do decide to go attack, make sure you do have a large force, because you're going to need to protect those catapults so they can knock down the stronghold, because it can get pretty chaotic in there. I do recommend, as soon as you get in there and you start attacking, use your restoration god power to keep them alive as long as possible, so your catapults can destroy that stronghold and free Chiron. As you can see, that it is a large force that you're coming up against, and given you only have limited resources, you need to knock down that stronghold as quick as possible, which catapults will do, and you have them protected by infantry, and you beat this one pretty easily. As soon as that stronghold's down, the mission's over. You don't need to completely destroy the town. Bang, victorious. And we'll move on to the next one. This mission is quite annoying because your force is split up into two. One area has the wood, and the other area has the gold. And they do attack both sides. So it is quite a frustrating mission. I do recommend you wall it off. Because they do constantly attack. And they will attack with catapults as well, so it is a frustrating level, but there is a hack to it, which I do a little bit later on. So as you can see, one side's filtered with wood and the other side has the gold. Both sides do supply food. But build that wall up as the extra defense for now. It won't last forever, but it gives you that protection to start with until you can start building up your forces. I'm not sure if you noticed I can do multiple buildings at once. You can do it on any setting. You just hold down shift when you have a building and you want to build multiples of it. Hold down shift and you can easily build 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20, as many as you need at one time without having to individually put it down. as you can see, they will attack with catapults. So your walls will constantly be knocked down. Try to keep the catapult from knocking out your guard towers if you do choose to put guard towers up, because they do cost more than the walls. The wall just destroyed there, probably only going to cost me 10 gold, whereas the watchtower is 200 wood, 100 gold, so it does add up. So just try to refrain from the catapults destroying your towers. You can lure them out, as I'm doing there. He's attacking my units, they get out of range, and I thought I was doing a good thing, and then he started attacking my towers. So try to protect your towers as much as possible. There also is another way to reduce your wall cost. Is you knock down their gate there, then you use their wall as your wall, if that makes sense. So you knock down the gate, then you build your wall where that gate was, and the other sections of their wall are too small, they can't build a gate. So then you only have a small section of wall that you need to maintain. It's also best if you don't go attack right now until you do have a large force, because to get around to the other side where your other units are there, it is covered with barracks, fortresses and units, so it does get pretty frustrating, but there is a way to avoid that, which I'll show a bit later on. Now, if you do want an easier way to join your forces, worship Apollo. So as you can see, he does have the underworld god power. The manticores, they're not a bad myth unit. They're not the greatest, but you do get the underworld god power, which you can use to connect both sides of Ajax and the Cantos together without having to go around through the army that they have. So if you do want a quicker way to reignite the armies, worship Apollo, which will grant you the underworld god power, which then you can use to transport units from side to side. It's just a little hack to make this level a little bit easier. It's up to you if you want to do it that way. You don't have to. You can go the Hydra, but I just find if you do the underworld passage, it does make this mission a lot easier. And again, they'll attack you from both sides. They'll attack one side, then the other. One side 3 times in a row, then they'll attack the other side. But they will constantly attack with catapults, which does get extremely frustrating. Because if you don't take it down quick enough, it will knock out your towers. It is a difficult level if you don't know what you're doing. See, as I'm about to do, I can fuse the two forces together. There's not enough room to put the underworld passage up to the fortress. I'm sure there would be an extremely easy way if you bought a Pegasus, and then you can just fly a Pegasus up there, drop the underworld passage right up against the fortresses, and you could knock the level over pretty quickly. That's also another hack to this level. If you do have an underworld passage, you can transport yourself directly to where you need to. Just bear in mind the underworld passage does have health, so as once one side is destroyed, the whole thing's gone. Through this pass there, it's covered in military barracks. There's a fortress at the top. So to bypass all that, you can just put in the underworld passage. And you can just go straight from Mycantus' side, which up where I'm going to go, there is a town centre and some units, but it's a lot easier than going around wasting units for no reason. Yeah, this side I was having troubles. On this side, it was getting extremely annoying with the catapults. But eventually, I got on top of it. So as you can see through this passage, it is littered with constant buildings, units, and then being Poseidon again. Those pesky, annoying militia. Make sure you do have catapults with you, because you will need them to knock down buildings. The fortress up on the ridge will cause a problem if you don't have a siege unit that can take it down fairly quickly. So do make sure you have the catapults or the Heliopolis to quickly knock that down, otherwise it would shred your units. And being that gold is annoying in this level to get, the more troops that don't die, the better, which is pretty useful information. The more troops that die, the worse. So that was kind of pointless for me to say that, but as you can see, the next available gold mine is out in the open. But if you do knock all this out, the attacks on your base do get less and less. There is a town centre coming up, which you just knock it over pretty quick. So those are the militia from the fortress that are destroyed. They'll make their way around. There's 7 of them. They don't do much damage, but without militia, I still have 4 catapults, so they're a pain in the neck. You just continue your way down. Use your catapults to knock down any watchtowers, walls, buildings, the town centre. Then you've cleared the passage to reignite the forces. The underworld just makes it a lot easier, because having 3 heroes together is very good, because they can knock out a lot more units. From this point on, it's just me destroying the units in my way, building more, and then getting to the fortresses. So it's pretty straightforward from here. Now the way to the fortresses, there is constant units, buildings that you'll need to continue to destroy. So just make sure you got a decent army on your way. You can go all the way to the mythic age, so you can get champions, you can get fully upgraded heroes and weapons. As you can see, my peltars are throwing fire spears. And I think I'm going back here to chase down a catapult, and I don't have any units as backup, so I'm just sending this hero, which is a very good hero to have. His special ability is he jumps like he flies through, he basically glides through the air, and if you do land on a myth unit, it can do a large amount of damage. So as you can see, I finished that gold mine. The remaining gold mines are out in the open, so they can be a nuisance. I did say manticores are useless. At range, they're pretty shit, but if a unit's right up on them, all the spikes from their tail will hit the unit, and their special ability is they launch double the amount. So as you can see, my hero jumps on the catapult and still had a half health and just wiped it out. So his special ability is quite good. Again, have catapults in your army. They'll just make life a lot easier. I went. See, it basically almost knocked off 100 health, and I didn't even land on it fully. I've gone the lightning storm. If you do get stuck and you're getting smashed, your army's not big enough, just invoke your lightning storm. It is one of the probably one of the best god powers, as it can knock out a large an enemy army very easily. It does only last about 10 seconds, but it can do a considerable amount of damage. Now when you get to this point, you can just shoot it down with your catapults from one side. You don't have to go through both sides to defeat this mission. You can just go up the right side, which is the easier side to go up, and they're at maximum upgrade, so they are at 30 range, which is the maximum range of a unit. I don't know why I'm destroying these buildings. It's just releasing more militia, which is more annoying, when I can easily just shoot down the fortresses. I guess I didn't think of that when I was doing it, so I'm a bit stupid. All you need to do to defeat this level is knock down the fortresses, which you have catapults. They can't do anything to you, because the maximum range of a tower or a fortress is 20. The town centre can increase to 22. If you fortify it, it does get 22 range, but still that's not good enough to defeat an out of range catapult. As you can see, you can access the other fortress from one side, so you don't have to go down both paths to finish the level. You can just knock both down from one side, and then you finish the level and you go to the the underworld, which is reasonably fun. Now this is another mission which you don't have a town centre or you don't have any supplies, so there is a limit. Well, I think it's an unlimited supply of reinforcements you get, but they don't come constantly, so be very careful on how you use them, because you're going to need them to take down that ram. And I remember this one on Titan difficulty, it is extremely difficult, because they do send villagers to repair the ram. So if you've lost all your units, the villagers will come in and completely restore the ram to its original state, and then you got to start all over again, and it's very hard on Titan, this one. Mana cores, they don't really do much to the heroes. They're pretty useless against heroes, so they don't last particularly too long. But try to keep your reinforcements behind your heroes, because you got getting to the ram, you're going to encounter only myth units. So try to keep your reinforcements behind your heroes, so your myth units focus on your heroes. They're not going to deal that much damage, and you keep as many reinforcements for the ram. Be careful of the Chimera, that it doesn't attack any reinforcements, because its special is highly effective. It spurts fire out of its snake tail. It's a very effective myth unit. Just knock down this boulder wall. It doesn't take long. It just stops myth units coming through there. Now I tend to only use the centaurs and heroes for this part, and every reinforcement that comes through I just leave it there, because there's no point in them coming through. They're hoplites coming up against myth units, so they're not going to do much damage. There is hidden myth units around the map, which I'm confident I get them all. That's the first one you can find, is a Nemo lion, which will come in effective. There also is 3 hidden Medusas around, which I find them too, so just continue watching and I'll show you where they're hidden. There's another boulder wall that you need to knock down. Again, just if they're not the centaurs or heroes, just put them back behind the line, behind where you're fighting. Reinforcements will constantly come through. Just pile them up somewhere until you're ready to siege the ram. So once you knock down that boulder wall, go right. There is a passage up a mountain, which I'm about to go up. If you go up here, you'll find 3 Medusas up near the columns. Little hidden unit. In the map, that's all the hidden units that are in the map. It's not much, but it comes in handy when the ram has over 200,000 health and there is a bit of units that is defending it. You don't really need to bother coming down this way. There's nothing there. Then when you've rescued everyone, bring everyone back to a center point, then you're ready to assault the ram. It will be guarded by a few myth units. Gargarensis is there, but he jumps away like a coward because he's a little bitch. You only fight him once or twice through the entire campaign. You do get to use him once. He is extremely effective when you use him. He's actually quite good. So the path, that's the Chimera special. It is pretty good special. Destroy all these units. It won't take you too long. Reinforcements will constantly spawn. Just bring them straight to the ram. And yeah, it's got 30,000 health. It's got a fair bit of health. Try to keep a passage open, because as you can see, the centaurs do pile up in a spot, and units can't get through. As you can see, there's a lot of space next to the ram that can be attacked. Reinforcements for the Gargarensis will constantly spawn behind you. On the harder difficulties, he does invoke a lightning storm, 1 or 2, which will knock out a few of your enemies, and reinforcements for him will spawn in higher numbers, which is why this level, it on paper it looks easy, but it can get quite hard. So yeah, just try and keep a path for your attacking units to get through. And where I've moved the centaurs on the high difficulty, on Titan or hard, myth units will spawn from there, so just be careful. See, as I'm doing with those hoplites, because that's where the reinforcements come, sometimes it is best to keep a little army there, just in case, because they are going to send a whole bunch of villagers pretty soon when the ram's about done. So it's best just to keep them there, and then you can easily defend your position. See, here come the villagers. There's a fair few of them. They come under to repair the ram. But if you got units there on defense, you kill them pretty easily. On moderate, this level was very easy, so on Titan it is quite hard. Once the ram's destroyed, you finish the level and continue to do the next one, which is sort of the same as this one. You don't get a town centre. You got to navigate your way through the underworld with shades. It can get quite annoying, but it is also quite easy. what you're going to do with this level, you're always going to need to keep at least one shade alive, because as you can see, your line of sight is pathetic. So if you go where I went, just there, you get a shade, and as you can see, the shades do have a very good line of sight, and they do one hit kill an enemy. So just be careful on how to use them. There is a limited supply of them, so don't use them willy-nilly. If you come up against a unit which is a pain in the neck, you can just use a shade to destroy it straight away. It doesn't matter how much health it has. If it's a Colossus who's got 1100 health, it will just kill it straight away. So just, if you do have them, try to keep one alive. It'll give you the best line of sight. You'll constantly find them around. But there is a limited supply, so don't use them all straight up. There is only one path through as well, so you can't really get lost. As you're about to see the shade, it's about to kill the Cyclops, one hit, bang, dead. But you do lose the shade, so yeah, just be careful how you use them. There are often shades hidden around these corners, so the more you can find, the better it is you in the long run, because the more you have, the better, to be honest. So you're going to come up on the high difficulty, you do come up against like 10 Minotaurs or Medusas in one spot, which you do get overwhelmed. So as you can see, Chiron's special ability is he fires 3 arrows at once at a distance. Not all arrows will hit, but if it's up close, it can almost fully take out a Cyclops one hit, which Cyclops do have 650 health. It can do at least 400 damage. So up close, his special is considerably effective. So here's a situation where you do need a few shades, as there is multiple Cyclops, which will kill all your infantry, which you don't really need infantry for this one. It's more about the heroes, because you only encounter myth units. It's completely up to you. If you do use your shades, your heroes can't take them out, but you will take damage. I didn't use any of the shades, I didn't think I needed to. But if you're playing it, however you want to use them, it's up to you. That's the first encounter you get with mummies. Against heroes, they're pathetic. But their special ability affects infantry, which they turn the infantry into a minion, which is an enemy, so they one-hit kill your infantry. So in large numbers, if you come up against them and you're all infantry, it's not going to end well. Again, mana cores, they don't last long against heroes. Against heroes, they're shit. This is a part where it could prove a bit annoying, because you do have to go through the waters, and the leviathans in. I just think krakens, I am right, do spawn, which they one-hit kill boats, as you can see. So you're immediately going to lose 2 boats. Leviathans, they don't one-hit kill boats, but they do have large health. So it's best to get your heroes down to the drop-off point as quick as possible. Make sure you keep them at the back, so the Kraken can't attack them straight away, because as soon as you lose all the boats, that's it. You can't get across. Yeah, I didn't know that I didn't put the heroes in there because it looked like they were in there. Turns out they're not. Dopies. I don't think the Leviathans spawn until you've dropped them off. But don't take my word on it. They could spawn after a certain time period. So if you're not quick enough, they could spawn and knock out all your boats, and yeah, you're in trouble. So from there, your boats are going to die. Don't worry about it. You don't need them anymore. Now this area is just infested with serpents. So I find it best that you keep your army back. Don't worry about using them. Just send all your heroes through to destroy all the serpents, because they're going to die in about 2 hits. They're not going to do any damage. You've got 1 Wadget sitting there, so best point of action through this whole period, the whole section, as you can see, is just send your heroes through, knock out the serpents, then you can send through your army. Leviathans are spawned, your boats are going to die. Don't worry about it. Don't try and protect them. Don't try and save them. They're going to die anyway. Now, when you've killed the Wadgets, you can bring your army through, because that's the remaining enemy of this section. It's very easy. Your heroes are going to take maybe 100 damage, which they're just going to regenerate by the time you get to the next relic anyway. So either all my boats are dead, Leviathans win, doesn't matter. Now up on here can get a bit challenging because Medusas, there's a whole bunch of Medusas, so it is a good time to use some of your shades, because Medusas can do quite a bit of damage, and they do have good health and good armor. So maybe use one or two, knock out the Medusas, then you use your heroes to finish off the Wadgets, because the Wadgets are pretty shit. The next section is pretty easy. You just got to navigate your way down to the temples. You're going to encounter a couple of wolves, which are going to do no damage. They're going to invoke forest fire, which make sure your units are away from the fire, because the fire can do a large amount of damage. So you just invokes the forest fire. If your units are close to it, they get hurt. If you don't want to fight anything, just bang, dead, shade, lost. But it doesn't matter, because you constantly find them. You're going to need to save a few of them for the end, because there are Colossus, a whole bunch of Colossus and Cyclopses that appear. So that's a good time to use them. Continue on, you're going to encounter, there's all the Cyclopses. Just use your shades to knock them out. At this point you don't really need the shades anymore, because you already know where you're going. There is one or two Colossus coming up, I'm pretty sure, and they do have a large amount of health, so a shade just knocks them out straight away. Just saves you fighting it, to be honest. Knock down this little gate. Thank God those statues aren't statues of lightning, because that would prove to be quite an issue. And yeah, that's the end of the level. Bring your heroes up to the temples, and you find out that Poseidon is a dick, Hades is a gronk, and Zeus is the one that you should be going for. I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough. This is the Greek campaign. I do have Egyptian, Norse, and the final campaigns I do have Atlantean, Golden Gift, and Tail of the Dragon, which I'll be uploading Wednesdays and Saturdays with a walkthrough. If you like this, please leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe, as I constantly have games coming up. I know of Crimson Skies, Star Wars, Brute Force, so there's plenty of games coming up. So if you like this one, please leave a comment, subscribe, leave a like, and yeah, I'll see you on the Egyptian campaign. Thank you.